we're on a roll here, and I would like to bring on the virtual stage our Power Talk speaker, a very dear friend and partner. As I said, United Latinas partners with a lot of different organizations, and who better than Claudia Romo Edelman, that has done amazing and spectacular work elevating the community of Hispanics for a very long time now, and you continue to do that. So the virtual space is all yours.
Well, first of all, congratulations. Thank you so much for having me. And as you rightly said, I have a message which is let's own our moment. This is our time, and we just need to be absolutely adamant about how different we are than what we have been. Like Latinos, as you know, Hispanic, Latinx, Latinas, what we have is we are prosperity, power, and progress. The big difference, and the piece that I want to talk to you about, is how there's a new Latino, there's a new Latina. For years, since I started working in this space, I saw how much we were wondering and questioning, are we worth it? The big difference now is that we know it. And once you know that you're worth it, the question really is no longer like, am I big, am I strong, can I influence? And so when we know that there's something, we know our data by far more, thanks to people like Ana Valdez from the Latino Donor Collaborative, putting incredible resources out there, people like me amplifying it all the time, and everyone becoming part of the story. We now know how worth we are, and the question now is like, are others going to notice it? And what am I going to do with that worth, with that power? And how am I going to pay back to the people that did it for us, to the ancestors? How am I going to tell my story, and how I'm going to open it up for the next one? So we've never been so strong. We've never been so ready. We've never been so many. But the most important piece there is that we've never been so self-aware. And I think that when I was preparing for this conversation today, I wanted to bring that piece forward, and just to make sure that we're noticing these pieces. Latinas, we're 9 million people. We generate more than $125 billion a year. We are 80% of all the purchasing power decisions in our homes, and we generate 18 times small and medium businesses more than any other group in America, making us the job creator #1 in the country. And that is amazing. But the most important piece here is that now we know it. We used to be in the dark. We used to be in a room that was, like without the candle to guide us. We were living in a distorted mirror, thinking that we were small when we're big. And through the Hispanic Sentiment Study from 2018 to 2025, Ileana and everyone in United Latina, let me tell you how dramatic this has been. In 2018, only 14% of the Latino community knew of our data, knew how young we are, how many we are, what is the economic size of the Latino community, our purchasing power, our entrepreneurial power, our voting power. That number, 14%, which is very, very low, almost no one knew. Now that number has scaled to 42% in 2023 to 77% in 2025. Now most of the Latino community knows. Now most of us can feel the power that we have, and we're no longer asking for a seat at the table. We're building our own tables. At least we know that despite the challenging conditions, where we've never been so challenged in the environment, where we never feel so frightened, so scared, and we are the backbone of the workforce. We're the driving force of culture, and the fastest growing segment of the entrepreneurs. So when you look at that, you know that we're like redefining leadership and redefining it in a way that is very much a la Latina, redefining it, understanding that our leadership styles mean that we take someone with us, we lead like a mother. And when you know that you're powerful and you know that your values are essential for the workforce, that leading like a mother means that you're going to generate trust, that you're going to take everybody with you, then you're able to be like Nanette Corsero at Pfizer. You're able to actually develop the COVID vaccine. When you're like that, you're able to generate trust among people. When you know how much leading a la Latina means that you're able to understand that your accent doesn't mean necessarily that you're less proficiency, that less proficient, less professional, less competent. When you're able to flip the script internally, because you know that when you have an accent, it means that you are bilingual and bicultural, and that therefore you can talk to two different groups, and where you're good at businesses and you're good at network network and opening up the space for your company. So you're gonna be able to bring that data point to the companies and where the people and the organizations where you operate. So being in the know is essential. That's why the work that people like Ana Valdez and the Latino Donor Collaborative is important. The work that we're doing here with United Latinas is important, because we're sharing the data, we're sharing the playbooks, we're opening up the spaces to have role models and the networks that we know that we have and that we need. So we are job creators, we're community builders, we're creators, we're economic power, and yet all of that, we are still not recognized. So everything of the Latino community is growing hockey stick form, except the recognition that we have externally, the visibility outside. We don't see ourselves or our values reflected by big corporations or media. And yet, despite being everything that we spoke about, like being a hockey stick form, we don't have the pay that we require, that we basically need and recognize. I'm feeling the word, the pay that we deserve. We still be paid 58 cents of the dollar. And yet, despite everything that we have, we are under pressure. We're every time having to like navigate and be more resourceful with the time that we have, with the balance, the work and life that we have. So here are the three call to actions that I have for this group of the United Latinas in a very critical moment where we understand that there's a correlation and a crossroad between being super powerful but not being recognized and being under pressure. So when you have that vacuum, that moment, we need to be strategic, we need to be smart, and we need to be intentional. And here are the three call to actions that I would like everyone that is listening to pay attention to. Number one is basically listen to the data, understand our power, and become a factivist. We need everybody knowing. We need everybody knowing how powerful we are, how many we are, how much our assets, our values are assets and not. So get the data, share the data, become a factivist. Number two, flip the script. There are so many things that we do as Latinas where we play the script of someone else. The script that is actually telling our strengths portrayed as weaknesses. So flip the script and make sure that people, not only people outside, but you inside, you know exactly that when you have an accent doesn't mean that you're less proficient. It means that you have two languages, that you're bilingual. Flip the script when people are saying you're too nice, you're not like leader enough. Flip the script and say like, no, I lead like a mother. I generate trust. I'm able to lead people and team building that makes people work harder and more together. And so when you are a factivist and you flip the script, the third and last thing that you have to do is recognize why God gave you two hands. One is to make sure that someone catches you, and the other one is to take someone with you. So get the access code and share the access code, because we cannot be solitas out there. It's pretty damn hard. So we need to be united, as this organization says it, and together we need to own our moment. Thank you so very much for having me. I hope that I can inject you with optimism, with a sense of the new Latino, the new Latina that is here to stay, and is here to grow, owing our moment together.
Claudia, thank you so much for that wonderful share. I love the last line that I wrote down was, I lead like a mother. And that is profound, right? The solution drivers, we're making it work. We're making it make sense, and we're taking care of the community as a whole. And I think that's so important when we think about all of these things. So thank you again for sharing your wonderful data. And yes, so much, so much, so much. So I